Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar for our Masters of Arts in Reading, Language, and Literacy. We're so excited that you're interested in our program. My name is Erica Daniels and I'm a faculty member in the School of Education with expertise in literacy, and I'm with
Lori Stoll. So we basically coordinate the literacy program.
So today in our webinar, you can see the agenda on the screen, and we're basically going to just give you a program overview, talk a little bit about the structure and the schedule, talk about the admissions criteria, how much it costs, and financial aid, and then we'll have an opportunity for questions afterwards. So if you have questions as we're talking, please go ahead and type them into your search bar or your chat bar, and we will just answer them at the end of our presentation. So first, the program was started because there's a pretty big need for literacy leaders in California. Literacy has changed over the years, and we have the real focus on preparing our students for the 21st and even the 22nd century. And so we really need every teacher to be a literacy coach and an expert in literacy, and that's what our program is intended to do. It's fully online, so no matter where you are, what your professional personal circumstances are, you can participate. We have a big emphasis on connecting theory and practice. We want you to understand why things happen, and we want you to be able to then go out and apply what you're learning in the classroom the very next day after you've read something or participated in a learning activity. We'll do advanced preparation and reading language arts assessment and instruction, making sure that we connect the assessment and instruction. You're out there, we expect you to be out there in the field, again, making those connections between theory and practice and applying what you're learning. And
by the field, we mean your classrooms.
Yes. Yes.
So we're not expecting you to go somewhere else. And if you don't have a classroom, we can help you with that as well.
Yes, and so again, the emphasis is on your classroom, your school, and making connections between what you're already doing and what the experts in the field say, so that you can just continue to push your practice and be advocates for your students and leaders at your school sites. So we've already mentioned this, the program is fully online. There are 2 8-week sessions each. So in the fall semester, the spring semester, and the summer semester, depending on when you start, there'll be 2 8-week sessions, 2 classes for every 8 weeks. The field work is done in schools and in your own classrooms, as we've already mentioned. If you complete all of the coursework, you'll get 2 advanced credentials from the Commission on Teacher Credentialing. You'll also get your master's degrees. So you'll get the RLAA, which is the Reading and Literacy Added Authorization, and the RLLSC, which is a Reading and Literacy Leadership Specialist Credential. You will explore research related to literacy as well as your own areas of interest throughout the program, and then you'll do either a thesis or a project as a culminating experience.
So here's the schedule, and we recommend that you take 2 courses a session. That's how it's laid out, so that you can finish in a year and a half. I can go through these by title, so you'll have to help me with some of the titles. So 606 is
Foundations of Literacy and Literacy Instruction.
616 is Learning Through Text. It's an examination of different kinds of text that you would use, largely literature, but all kinds of text that you would use with students. 613 is working with monolingual and bilingual learners, so it's how you support all kinds of learners and their language needs in your classroom. 610 is Erica's course.
Creating conditions for engagement and independence, so we focus a lot on the motivation theories and understanding what causes kids to be motivated to learn, what causes them to be not motivated to learn, and how that connects to your own practice. 614A is an assessment class, assessing literacy. And it is paired with 614B, which means that the assessments that you're learning to use in 614A, you do in 614B. And so we really recommend that you take those simultaneously, but if you end up taking one course a session, you have to have 614A before you take 614B. When you've completed those 6 courses, you have the Reading and Literacy Added Authorization. The Reading and Literacy Added Authorization is a prereq for the Leadership Specialist Credential. So then you move into 618, which is Literacy for the 21st Century, and we look a lot at technology as a tool, project-based learning, makerspace, all the different ways that we're looking at the future of literacy and what that looks like in your classrooms.
619 is an inquiry into practice course, and it is a place that you could start looking at. We want you to learn how to be independent and inquiry into your own practice, but it's also a place that you'll start looking at a question for your thesis or project. So 622 is research methods, so you'll continue looking at ways that you might examine your practice. 623 is the second field experience course. So you're doing more assessments, and the assessment courses are largely find students who have particular needs, assess the students, determine needs, analyze the assessment data, create a plan for the students, and then implement the plan. So if you aren't currently in a classroom for 614B and 623, you must have access to kids in a school setting. We really don't recommend you do your own kids or children at your church or children in your neighborhood. Not people that you know. We want you, I mean, if you're doing it in your classroom, obviously you know the kids, but we want you to have a more distance perspective so that you can look at the assessment data and make recommendations and then implement those. You'll actually work with kids. 627 is a program evaluation course. It's about using data that looks at program evaluation and recommendations that you might make for professional development or changes in curriculum, things like that. And that's a big course recommended or required by CTC for the Reading and Literacy Leadership Specialist credential. And then 698 is your thesis or project class. And we've split this over 2 sessions because we think it's really unreasonable to think that you can finish it in 8 weeks. But we've also been trying to build in the supports for that last culminating experience throughout the entire program. And Erica and another faculty largely take responsibility for that. Do you want to say anything else about 698?
What 698 is a little different than the other courses in the program because it's primarily independent. You've, at that point, identified your area of interest. You've decided if you want to do a thesis, which would be a research study where you ask a question and you collect data and analyze those data to explore the question, or you do a project, which is where you create something in response to a need. A professional development workshop, a unit for your classroom, a resource guide or a handbook. And so the program builds toward that. And at that point, you've made the decision about if you want to do the thesis or the project and what you wanted to do. And then another colleague and I work with you every step of the way to help you with that. So it's usually a lot of fun because it's directly relevant to your class. And again, it's a little investigate. It's more independent than the other more traditional courses. So admissions criteria.
So the admissions criteria requires students to have a bachelor's degree from a regionally accredited institution. They will need to have a minimum undergrad GPA of a 2.5 with that degree, with their transcripts, or a 2.5 GPA in the last 60 units. They will need to apply and pay the application fee of the $55. They will need a teaching credential or equivalent experience. 3 years of full-time teaching experience required prior to recommendation for the California Reading and Literacy Added Authorization and the California Reading and Literacy Leadership Specialist credential.
Can we just say that you have to have that at the end of the program when they apply?
Yes.
So that you don't have to have 3 years when you apply to the program, but when you apply for those credentials at the end of the program, you have to have 3 years.
Correct. Students will also need a statement of purpose, a 1 to 2 page statement that describes why you wish to pursue a degree in education, a master's degree in education. Anything else you would want them to add to that? No. 2 letters of recommendation from your individuals that are familiar with your work in the field of education. Now, these letters of recommendation are able to be flexible. So if you can't get letters of recommendation or you have only one, you can contact us and we can assist you with that.
These are largely Cal State San Marcos or CSU requirements. These aren't out of the norm.
And then also completion of graduate, postgraduate application to the university. So again, the application in the CSU Apply website.
Nick, if you have any questions or having any trouble with any of this, you can contact anybody in Extended Learning and contact Lori or myself. This is Erica. We're happy to support you as you work through the application process.
And the cost for the program is $3.99 per unit. So each semester you're taking the 2 courses at a time, so you would times $3.99 by the 6 units, plus the $55 fee per semester, not session. So spring will have a $55 fee, summer will have a $55 fee, fall would have a $55 fee, and so on, not per session. The total cost is $14,584.
Could I just say about the per session? These are 8-week sessions, but we have taken semester, you're essentially getting semester classes in the 8 weeks. Now we have adjusted the workload, but the content is as if you were having a semester class. So it's
Accelerated.
It's just accelerated, right? So you're getting the same amount as if you took a 2.5-year or 3-year master's degree.
You will also pay $150 intent to enroll, and this will apply towards your first semester's tuition. That's your commitment that you are going to take the program.
And again, we've done some cost analyses, and this is this is a good deal. This is the best deal in town. You're getting a very high quality degree with tenure track faculty. Everyone who teaches in the program has been with the university for a while, has expertise in literacy and the related fields, and so it's a high quality program.
For financial aid and scholarships, you'll want to contact the financial aid office for anything with questions about financial aid and the FAFSA. And the number is 760-750-4850. And you can also locate them on our website. There's also scholarship opportunities, so you can go searching for those as well on our website, and we have some addresses that you can search as well. And please note that the Calvet College tuition fee waiver cannot be applied to this program.
So we've had one question that's come in that's asked about the program accepting any graduate units from the past or that you might have taken when you're getting your teaching credential. Most likely not, because the bulk of these courses are required for the 2 state credentials, the RLAA and the RLLSC. But if you feel like, as you've listened to Lori talking about the scheduled classes, if you feel that there's a course you've taken that's nearly identical, you can definitely reach out to us and send us a syllabus so that we can take a look.
Course description, syllabus, the transcript.
So generally, no, because again, the program is pretty carefully designed to have one class lead to the next, which leads to the next.
And we can't substitute other coursework because we've promised the CTC that the content of our courses meets their standards for the 2 credentials. So that's why we can't take, this is thinking and work beyond a credential. So it's a master's degree, so that we don't take credential courses in the master's.
Other questions?
The question that says, as long as I'm admitted to the program, will I be guaranteed space in each class? Absolutely. Once you're in, you're in. And what we recommend is 2 classes a session, and the workload, we understand most of our students are teachers and that they're taking classes, and online is a nice, is attractive for working people. And so we have adjusted the schedule. The courses usually open on weekends, and we've adjusted the workload because we know that you're working and many people have families and other responsibilities. But some people find that 2 classes is a little too much, and occasionally they'll take 1 class a session, and we can adjust your schedule. But it's very doable, and once you're in, we have made space for you. It's like the mafia. We don't let go of you. And if you're familiar, the other thing I'll say, if you're familiar with the Writing Project, I direct the San Marcos Writing Project, and we offer a summer institute, and you can get credit for 1 or 2 of the courses by taking a Writing Project Invitational Summer Leadership Institute. So if you're in another part of the state where a Writing Project Summer Institute is offered, or even the country, I know what the content of those leadership institutes are, and so we can offer credit that way. We've had a couple of people do that in our program. It's nice to meet people face to face too.
Another question that comes up a lot is the actual, what does the week look like? And so Lori alluded to that, but for the most part, we call them modules. So each week is a module of learning activities and then deliverables. Usually the module opens on Saturday morning, and then everything is due the following Saturday night. So there's an overlap on Saturday, depending on what your personal life looks like. You'll know Saturday morning what is required of you for the next 7 days. But then you still have all of Saturday to finish the learning activities from the previous week. So that's something that we do that. And
We try to make it as predictable as possible, and we've done this now for 4 years. And we also try to do it in every course. So once you get used to that rhythm of the course opening on Saturday, every course after that is usually like that. Occasionally we have to hire a lecturer, somebody else to take a course for us, and we try to get them up to speed on how we offer them, but usually it's the Saturday to Saturday.
You'll have there's about 5 instructors that teach in every program with every cohort the same classes. So you'll start to see similar faces, and again, we're very accessible. We're happy that you're here and willing to support you. Even if you're somewhere within a different time zone, we can work with you on that.
We're very responsive by email. And we've had, because we're in Southern California, we're not sure where you are, but we have several spouses of military who have been shipped to Virginia or Okinawa.
North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina. Some of our students have moved to Portland or Northern California. So that's what's nice. Wherever you are, you can continue, and this is pretty predictable. And we'll make sure that you finish. And we'll get on the phone. Both of us have gotten on the phone with people. If email isn't good enough, we're happy to chat.
So if you're thinking about joining us for the January cohort, the application deadline is December 7th. We know it's coming up, but if you're thinking about it, please definitely reach out to us, because we can help you navigate that application process so that you can start. Again, it will be early January, and then the next cohort will start at the end of April, and then it just keeps going on that predictable pattern, January and late April. So again, Lori Stoll, Erica Daniels, we're the ones that have been doing most of the talking, and you can access us. Lori's email is lstowell@csusm.edu, and mine is edaniels@csusm.edu.